On Sandown Cup night as we build up to the last race and what's been a really eventful night. We've got a really short price favourite here in the red, Poor Fabian at $1.60. Outside of him, Tick Returns at $4.40 for Emma and Lockie Scott. And I walked past him upstairs just before and Lockie was really quick to say, when are they putting in 800 boxes here at Sandown?
Told you last week.
Of course, in reference to Star State.
You need the marathon, but he finished fourth and you get a nice little prize packet for fourth. So they've done really well, and they'll be tickled pink, so to speak, with not only being in the final, but then being more the competitive and running fourth. So congratulations to him.
And making that final would make them want to get that feeling again as well. They obviously had it last week with the Sapphire Crown, and then tonight with the Sandown Cup. I can guarantee they're going to be trying their hardest to feature in another one.
Was it Warrnambool with Trefusis?
Yeah, Warrnambool.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Warrnambool Cup with Pack and Prince.
Okay, then Trefusis was in another one?
Yeah, she was in Sapphire Crown last week.
Okay, I'm getting confused, yep.
And then Star State in the
That's how good their run's been, that you're getting confused by how many group finals they're making. I think they'd be pretty happy with that.
The last three big ones in Victoria, they've made them all, so that's great to see.
All right, let's quickly get on with it. We want to highlight one replay here, which is that of Tick Returns, who we're going to look at a race from the Meadows where we're looking at box 4 here, Nath.
Yeah, this is the last time the greyhound was able to find the front. It ran 5:03 here on this occasion from box 4 and was able to lead throughout. Now, you look at its next few starts, it's been showing really good speed, but running, 5:03, 5:07, and not being able to get to the front and dictate like it did on this occasion. So I think, the favourite's awfully hard to beat from box 1, but he's been well and truly priced accordingly. So I just thought Tick Returns on the map would be the likely leader. It can run the 5.0s. It's run 30 and 12 at the Meadows previously in winning after running 5.0s on that occasion. And if you can get to the front tonight and run along and the favourite's not on its A game, I think Tick Returns is a chance of causing a minor upset in the last race tonight.
All right, so Tick Returns is $5. What about outside of that, Nath? We've got Winburn Solstice. Is that your
Solstice? Yeah.
Solstice.
Yep.
Get it right one day. Gary Stun on $9.50. Anything at odds that we can make a case for?
Maybe Zarood Bale. I don't know what price Zarood Bale is, number 4.
$16.
Down the bottom. It's a 29.7 winner here recently. Bit of a get-back, run-home type. I think he can maybe fill a podium finish. But I think, obviously, the top two are the ones. I think Poor Fabian's well drawn. Good winner at the track and distance in sub 30 seconds here. Not that long ago. And then Tick Returns, as we identified, on-speed runner that will make her own luck if she can get to the top. And she maps to get to the top here. So I went 1, 7, 4 and 5 in the last, but I think he is short enough at 165. I've got him around the 180 mark. So if you want to have a play, I'd be going Tick Returns, who might be the likely leader and give some cheek. 4 Zarood Bale is a get-back, run-home type that can certainly make its presence felt. And Winburn Solstice, number 5, will show a little bit of early speed and most probably up in class. But the red has all the aces here in the last, but awfully short to close the night.
Eventful night here at Sandown Park, led by the Sandown Cup 1x8 Raiders Guide. We'll wrap it all up on Sky Racing Active after this. For those on Sky Racing 1, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Here's the last with Dan.
He's won 11 of 46. $10 for Winburn Solstice. And it was a winner at the Meadows 2 runs ago, 30 and 38, and down the track at Ballarat last start. Thanks, Patch. They're moving in for the last of the night. The Sportsbet Fast 4 and the Cup taken out by Raiders Guide. A well-deserved Sandown Cup victory and was able to lead virtually all of the way in the Group 1 feature tonight. Favourite for the last is going to be the red, and that is Poor Fabian. They're set to run race number 12. Ready? Racing. Poor Fabian only fair to hit the ground. Gary Stun on won the start. Poor Fabian's going to get up on his inside though. Winburn Solstice in the outer. On the rail was the Zarood Bale pushing through. Then came Tick Returns and Valve Bounces. Only 5 lengths first to last. And Poor Fabian took the lead. A length and a half in front of Gary Stun on. Then came Zarood Bale. Further back then to Winburn Solstice. Leader Poor Fabian. Gary Stun on is still there. Poor Fabian in front. Gary Stun on to the outside. Coming, but Poor Fabian holds on. Poor Fabian just beat Gary Stun on. Third home will be, I think, Zarood Bale maybe just over Winburn Solstice. Valve Bounce and Tick Returns, 29 and 57 the time.
Gary Stun on. Gary No Plums, as some would call him, challenged poor Fabian, wasn't able to get there late. And he's got the chocolates, the favourite in the last, Nath. He got out the way you wanted him to, and he's got the bob late.
Yeah, he had box one in what looked to be a bit of a thin race, and he's a 29.6 winner here, only 3 starts back at the track and distance off the draw, so no surprise to see him be able to punch up, hold the speed, and from there, in what was most probably a race not jam-packed full of depth, Jace, he had all the favours. He was most probably well and truly found and short enough in the market, but he was too good. Gary Stunnon, I said during the race to Corey Smith that he's an old marvel. He just keeps on backing up, and he does go better at the Meadows. He hasn't won a race here at Sandown from 8 goes at the track and distance, just the one runners-up effort, but he ran a bottler into second. He was certainly making ground late. Of the other beaten brigade, there was 4 3/4 back. Zertrude Bale, as we touched on, to get back run home type that could have filled a podium and did so, and Winburn sold us in for 4th. But I think Box Draw won that last event. They were pretty even, and it utilised Box 1 and took the prize home. So another winner for the Grenfelds and another favourite home to conclude proceedings here at Sandown this evening.
Now, he hasn't tipped the cards, Smithy, but he's picked up 9. Fair effort from the great man, isn't it?
That's not too bad. It's was it Gary Ablett kicked that many in a grand final once upon a time?
The God they call him, don't they? Yeah.
Did he kick
So you're calling yourself God now?
No.
He's comparing himself to God.
Hey,
Nathan Almighty.
No, Gary's God. I'm apparently the bald eagle. Bald eagle. The
what was that
West Coast
game
Eagle.
where Ablett Senior had 9 and Paul the Fish Salmon had 9 as well?
Yeah, 89
Yeah.
grand final.
That's it.
Who's your favourite bald footballer?
He's still side bottom at the moment.
Nathan Eagleton.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's who I was going to say. I thought I had a real niche one up my sleeve, and Patches matched me.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's disappointing, actually. I thought I would have rolled
Chris
that
Judd's going to be up there.
Yeah, he's right up.
When he was at West Coast.
Well, he was somehow felt balder when he was at West Coast when he had hair than when he was at Carlton when he was actually bald.
Got my mind ticking over now.
Yeah,
Anyway, eventful night here, and Smithy, a lot of implications as well. I mean, the Sandown Cup speaks for itself, and the superstar that is Raiders guy, but a lot rolls into the Pink Diamond as well from what we've seen this evening.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like races can get lost in the group racing calendar. It's so chock full of quality racing, whether it be up in Queensland, which we've touched on at certain points tonight, whether it be over in WA with the Sandgroper and the Perth Cup and the like. But this Pink Diamond series, it just comes up with good dogs year after year, and it's such a great incentive for Victorian breeders. And while we do miss the likes of the Wheeler dogs that aren't eligible, being New South Wales bred, we just get cracking fields. And you see it's races that really kind of get these trainers to target them. We've spoken to so many trainers tonight that are mentioning that Pink Diamond is the next step, and that's what we want, that's what we need, and the concept moving around different country tracks, I'm not sure whether I love that. Obviously the country tracks would like that because they get their opportunity to do it, but it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's at Ballarat, whether it's at Warragul, this year at Geelong, the greyhounds, the greyhound trainers really want to arm up their greyhounds and get them ready to go for these big finals.
It's going to be, we've seen a few tonight, most probably heading towards that way, but it's a great concept and a great series, and it'll produce 12 really good finals come, 3 or 4 weeks' time. So really looking forward to that over the next month, and seeing not only the world perform greyhounds go forward, but to see what gets unearthed. Last year, we've seen a lot of good maidens come through. Greenos, had epitomised win the maiden series last year. So there is no doubt, and I know firsthand, there's plenty of good young ones getting set for this series. So maybe the next champion is going to grace the turf in the next couple of weeks through the Pink Diamond series.
Indeed, great to share the night again with you blokes. One of the more courageous performances I've ever seen from Corey Smith tonight, to be out there in the rough and tumble with a sore little toe. So you've done well tonight, Smithy.
I might have to go chop that off, and blokes that I used to play footy with would be sitting there laughing that I had one kick of the footy and I've hurt myself. So no, it wasn't to do with that. I've just been battling blisters for the last a few hours, and I've been tough, barely complained about it.
Never fun.
Imagine if it was James Vandermark going through the turmoil that I've been, and the carry-on would have been extraordinary.
Yeah, mate, you've done a great job to get through. Let's be honest, you've walked miles, and You need to most probably bring the runners next time just to look after them feet.
Yeah, he'll have them in the ice. He's pulled up sore, and one man who hasn't pulled up sore is Steve. Our roving cameraman tonight has done a great job.
Superstar.
He's a machine, and certainly a lot tougher than this man on my right.
Absolutely he is. He does a fantastic job, Steve, and yeah. He's a legend. But big thank you to everyone that works behind the scenes to put these sort of productions together. They don't often get the plaudits when you see the 3 rude pills up on the screen, but they
Very rude, especially mine and Nathan's.
Especially mine.
And Corey's. That makes
definitely
3.
mine. Speaking about rude pills, Dan Hibbert as well done a fantastic job calling tonight.
He comes walking through. He goes, what? Outstanding, Nathan. Top job tonight, mate. And speaking of, I guess, the game that we're in, Brood Pills, people don't often get a pat on the back when it comes to tipping because it's so hard to tip every race. Everyone wants you to tip the winner of every race. It's not possible. You've landed 9 tonight, mate, so great job.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we've filled the pockets up because I'm sure when we go down and have a beer, my betting account's going to be a little bit bigger than what it was 4 hours ago.
Yes, I won't bring the wallet. We won't bring the wallet.
That'll be my shout.
Anyway, great night at the office. Pleasure to share it with these boys, but more so you at home, wherever you've tuned in. Thank you for doing so. I hope you enjoyed the Sandown Cup Carnival, which has been eventful but absolutely fantastic. And of course, here in Victoria, we move on to the Pink Diamond, and more recently and sooner, Ballarat Cup Heats on Sunday night, which are absolutely outstanding. So lots coming up from a greyhound point of view. Whatever you're doing on the weekend, enjoy it. Back a heap of winners. Enjoy the rest of your night.